What's up, guys? Um, I've been meaning to do this kind of video for a while. Uh, it's taken me some time to gather my thoughts from my experiences and from my training as a New York State motorcycle safety professional. But I just want to repeat in this video just a few things that I say to the BRC classes that I teach. And during the classroom facilitation portion of the course, we go over a lot of philosophies and theories. So I hope someone hears this and can be safer, while on the roads. I love all motorcyclists, and I never want anyone to become a statistic. So let's begin. We can start this off by talking about your head. Is it important to you? Is it valuable to you? If I told you that your head's worth $250,000, that should be an insult to you. Your head is priceless. There should be no value put on your head. But if you have a $40 head, you should be wearing a $40 helmet. I have no pity for ignorance when it comes to motorcycle safety. All the gear is there. It's provided for you. As long as you buy it and wear it, you should be protected. And that goes for your passenger too. Shame on you if you allow your passenger to wear that German half helmet you bought off Amazon for $15 and you slap the DOT sticker on it. No excuses. Wear your gear as well. A lot of guys, when they buy their bike, a lot of the money into starting to ride a motorcycle is put into the motorcycle itself. And at the very end, you're like, right, helmet, gloves, boots, gotcha. You should be investing in proper riding gear, even if it puts you into a lot of debt. I say invest because you should be slapping down your credit card and putting yourself in a couple of $1,000s worth of debt to protect your knees, your back, your elbows, your hands, and your head, which you are going to need for decades to come. All right, these things are not replaceable. The gear is, however. Yes, some of it is expensive, but you really honestly get what you pay for with safety gear. The more you spend, the better the gear is going to be, the lighter it's going to be, more advanced polymers and composites are used in the crafting of different levels of gear. So you're definitely going to notice a difference. I certainly have. When I went from like the entry-level Joe Rocket jackets, which were only about $100 and $150, to investing in more expensive jackets like the Revit line, which easily run from $600 to $800. But comfortability is important as well, but safety is key, so don't skimp on the gear. I'm talking about a good full face helmet, full fingered gloves, over the ankle boots. You have to wear it all right? Just look at this chart of helmet impact ratios that came from Germany a few years back. Let me tell you, I've seen many students fly over the handlebars and hit the right side of their face with a full face helmet on. So don't think you're okay with that half helmet. It's not going to do anything for you in a real accident. Nothing at all. And God forbid something comes flying up at you from the highway, from a car or something, you're going to want that full face helmet. I like to ride like everybody on the road is drunk, high, whatever, and I'm invisible. I personally would love to believe that everyone is sober, well rested, paying attention behind the wheel of a 2-ton pile of metal and glass, but we all know that's not the case. And this especially becomes important with work vehicles. Ambulances, fire trucks, garbage trucks, anybody who's working behind the wheel, their job comes first. Driving's kind of on the back burner, and you have to remember that. Guy in the ambulance is looking at screens. He's on a radio trying to save people's lives. While driving is important, you have to remember that they're buzzing through. And the only couple of near misses that I've ever had, which made me consider stopping riding, were actually from emergency vehicles blowing through stop signs, and I didn't see it in time. It's probably my fault, but it happens, especially at intersections. So I want to talk about intersections and curves really quickly. If you take an MSF course, you were paying attention, your rider coach probably explained why intersections and curves are dangerous. You guys probably did a little diagrams. But when you guys are in front of a car, you have to remember that your entire silhouette's taken up by this giant vehicle behind you. Drivers in front of you, they don't see you. They are seeing the cars and the pedestrians. That's all they're looking for. You are completely transparent to them. Okay? It can be unintentional blindness. It can be them working, tired, doesn't matter. You can even be staring at a guy right in his eyes across the way and give him a nod. He'll nod back, and that light will turn green, and he'll pull a left right in front of you and smash you. Say he didn't see you. I've seen it happen. You need to literally look at everybody in the intersection like they're out to get you. So you are constantly prepared to take action when it actually happens. This is sort of a mental stress, a healthy mental stress. You need to literally look at everybody like they're gonna get you. You know, I pretend when that light goes green at a crowded intersection that everybody's gonna cut me off, come into my lane without signaling or looking, turn left in front of me. And you know what? It might not happen at that light. It might not happen for 50 lights, but it will happen. And if you constantly are paranoid about those type of things, you will be prepared for when it counts. Distracted driving is really bad. As you ride your motorcycle, you'll pass cars and you'll look in the cab, left and right. You're sitting much higher than the drivers of cars, so you can see in their lap. You see everything they're doing, whether they want you to see it or not. They could be fingering their phone, going through their IG feed. I've seen, women putting on makeup or eating food, you name it. People are doing it. You just have to be aware of your surroundings at all times. And I like to give cars kind of a quick 3-point check as I'm surrounded by them on the expressway, or any car that I'm passing. I kind of give it a 3-point check, and it takes less than 2 seconds to do this per car. No time at all. I literally glance at the car, see if it's old or new. It doesn't take too much. Secondly, I look at what the driver's doing. Are they eyes forward, hands on the wheel, or are they looking down in the lap? And third, I look at the plate. It's usually not that order, but I'll notice the car, notice the plate, and what the driver's doing. If I see out of state, I keep it moving as quickly as possible. They're not from here. They don't know our traffic laws. For example, in New York City, no turning right on red. A lot of people out of state turn right on red here, and that causes potential hazards for us. But there's a lot of things you can do. Just keep your eyes moving and look at everything, all right? Don't get comfortable on the bike, because that's when Murphy shows up and kicks you to the ground, all right? Just keep an eye on everybody. When I'm on the highways or the expressways, especially with multiple lanes, I like to stay in either the far left or right lane. Being in the left lane, or the fast lane as it's called, but we know it doesn't always apply depending on where you live. It can give you the chance to escape to the shoulder if you need to. Now, the shoulder in the left lane is not big. It's a couple of feet, maybe 3 feet, but it's enough for you and your motorcycle to get into if something happens. Like traffic suddenly stops in front of you and the guy behind you is not stopping. You can jump into that shoulder and let that car behind you rear end the car that was in front of you and you not get squashed. I've done this many times. And that goes for the far right lane as well. But with the far right lane, you get a whole 10-foot shoulder for your emergency exits. So the far left lane, far right lane, it's always giving you a place to go just in case something crazy happens. Now in the middle lane, you have nowhere to go. And I know you've been in your car before or even on your motorcycle, and in front of you, you've seen two people trying to go into the middle lane at the same time. Sometimes one person goes in, the other backs off. Sometimes they both kind of go into the lane, then they both back off, suddenly jerking away from each other. You don't want to be a motorcycle sandwich when that happens. So yes, you should be watching for everybody and what they're doing, but it's nice to only have to pay attention to the front, the back, and the right of you if you're in the left lane. And the left of you, you know there's no one there that can just come jumping in at you, and you always have a safe place to go. And in the far right lane, yes, there's on-ramps and off-ramps, but you only have to worry about what's in front of you, what's behind you, and what's to the left of you, because you know to the right of you is a 10-foot shoulder that you can jump to if the need arises. Say someone just jumps into your lane and you don't have time to slow down or speed up. Where are you gonna go if you're in the center lane? Are you just gonna throw yourself blindly into a left or right lane not knowing who's there? You could get yourself killed. But in the far left or right lane, you always have somewhere to go. So it's just a thought. I'm just gonna close this video with some final thoughts. I want you to be safe. I want you to get home to your family and to those who love you. Wear your gear. Wear your gear. Ride like you're invisible. Don't forget about that, because you are invisible. And please maintain your bike. All right, it takes 5 seconds when you start your bike to make sure your turn signals work and your brake light comes on. All right, if they don't and you're not showing your intentions to drivers, they could kill you because they're probably not paying attention. Riding a motorcycle is a very visceral experience. You know, the smells, the sounds, the speed. You don't have anything free to be using a phone. You know, each one of your legs and arms are doing something on a motorcycle. Your right hand is doing 3 things at once. You don't have time to be playing with a phone, but people in cars do. They're not paying attention, so be safe. You know, don't skimp on your bike as well. If you have the option of adding ABS or traction control for an extra $1,000 or $2,000, please do it. It will save your life, especially ABS. If you can just get ABS, please get it. It saved my life more than I'm willing to admit. So, you know, just try and get it. Don't skimp out on your bike. Remember, guys, this is just a few things that I've talked about in the classes that I've taught. If you don't agree with me and my opinions, that's fine.